Great. What was it about him that you really loved? What was it about him that you said, that is the guy I want to be like?
Well, as an entrepreneur, he's very practical. Rubber meets the road. No baloney. You can't make money selling dime apples for a nickel.
Mm-hmm.
It's understanding, basic finance, understanding the basic elements of business and entrepreneurship. Not a lot of fluff, not a lot of hype. It's real practical blood and guts stuff. So as an entrepreneur, I really respected that about him and agreed with his approach in that way. And then also in the giving back part of it, the angel investing, the mentoring, the helping. He's done some incredible things around the world globally.
Yes.
That I've been a small part of. That just is, I don't know, second to none. He's got universal respect from his peers. Excuse me. Universal respect from his peers. He's got everybody likes Steve, and he's just, he does, and it's not that he's just a nice pushover guy. He's very strong, very firm in his beliefs and where he's going, and he doesn't back down. So it's just interesting. It's he's kind of just a really good guy. He's somebody I really trust, and maybe that's the word, trust.
Well, what about you? Where are you going? You talked about him going somewhere. What about you? I mean, it seems like you're doing tons of things.
Well,
and all of them are succeeding, and they're doing great.
Well, I don't know.
BoomStartup's getting going though,
Yeah.
so it's pretty new.
It's new. I would say, I really enjoy entrepreneurship, but right now in this stage of my life, I don't want to be the CEO of one single company where I'm putting in 80 hours a week at one company.
Yeah.
That's just not where I want to be in life right now. So I'm in that more giving back and diversifying and spreading out with more interests. And so that's just where I'm at. Doesn't mean someday I might not start my own new company again or be the CEO of another company and do that. But right now, it's perfect where I'm at. Teaching at BYU, which I absolutely love. Helping the Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology become one of the highest ranked programs in the country.
Congratulations.
And it's exciting. And then being a partner at Utah Angels and being very involved in the angel investing ecosystem here in Utah. That's very exciting and interesting and a lot of great things. And then of course things like Utah Student 25 and BoomStartup, two of my pet projects that in the last couple of years have gotten started. Those are they definitely are compelling and keep my interest.
So how do you do it? How do you do all of those things? I mean, most people would say that's crazy. What does your wife say? Let's put it that way.
Sometimes she asks me, how much are you making for doing that? And she keeps me straight. She says, now if you're giving away free time, I should get some of that free time, right? So she's good at that. But it's not really as crazy as you think. There's somebody who's hone some skills at being very effective and efficient, which a lot of people have been in their careers for a long time have. People in their 20s and 30s are at a certain efficiency rate. People in their 40s and 50s have really learned a lot and get very efficient at what they do. And so if you can spread yourself around and salt and pepper certain activities like this and manage it, it can work. You got to be careful about not spreading yourself too thin. There's no doubt about that. But I will just say this, there's nothing more challenging than what you're doing right now, Mark, which is being the CEO of a startup company. And I know you've got a couple things on your plate, and being the CEO of a startup company is a very, very intensive, engaging effort. And so I would say, you're the crazy one, not me.
Well, I don't have a wife yet to keep me in check, though, so maybe there's a little more freedom there. I don't know, but that's good.
Actually, you need to take care of that. You need to get married.
Yeah, well, I am on it. So, great. Well, is there any last advice that you'd like to give to the thousands of entrepreneurs who are, like me, struggling to be able to figure it out? What advice do you have for them?
Well, let me just do this about taking advantage of mentors. We talked about BoomStartup, which is a mentorship-driven program. So to take advantage of mentors, the entrepreneur or the would-be entrepreneur needs to be prepared. And to go in cold and unprepared means that the entrepreneur will not get as much out of his interaction with the entrepreneur, and vice versa. the mentor is going to have to repeat basic information, spend a lot of extra time that really is unnecessary. The mentor should be providing information, expertise that's not available in common and easy to get places. So for example, books to read. I would say that there's some key books. Matter of fact, before people can come have a mentoring session with me, I ask them to absolutely read some books first. And number one on the list is the E-Myth Revisited. I want them to understand about the concepts of how to work on your business instead
That's
of
a
in
great
your
book.
business and that
Great
type of
book.
thing. I also want them to understand finance and money very well, and I like The Millionaire Next Door. I also like them to understand markets and the cycles in markets and how incumbent leaders can be wiped out by disruptive innovation, disruptors. And so the Innovator's Dilemma and those series of books by Clayton Christensen, I like them to read the Innovator's Dilemma. Later on, I like them to read about some finance books and some other books. But those books right there, if you can read, for instance, the first three I said, that you can start running with your mentor instead of having to walk slowly at first, and everybody's time is used more effectively. And each of those books can be bought for $5 or less used. So there's no reason not to buy them and read them.
Great. Wonderful. Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
so very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
And I look forward to working with you and going forward with Boom Startup and seeing Mashworks and Mormon Entrepreneur take off.
All right. Well, I'm grateful for Mormon Entrepreneur and for Mashworks being in the Boom Startup program. Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks, John.